Confidence, it's that quiet, powerful force that shapes the way you walk, talk, and take on the world. Some people think confidence is something you're born with. But let me tell you, confidence isn't a gift, it's a skill. It's something you build, something you earn, something you grow into. And the good news, you don't have to wait years to feel it. You can start boosting your confidence right now, today, in ways that are simple but powerful, because confidence isn't about luck, it's about preparation. It's about the way you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. It's about the way you carry yourself when you walk into a room. It's about taking those small wins, stacking them up like building blocks, and letting them create unstoppable momentum. And most of all, it's about making a decision to act, to trust yourself, and to step forward even when you don't have all the answers. So let's talk about it. 6 basic, simple, powerful ways you can instantly boost your confidence and start moving toward the life you want. Confidence comes from preparation. It's one of those timeless truths that will never change. If you've ever felt nervous, uncertain, or afraid to take action, the answer isn't to wish for more confidence. The answer is to prepare so thoroughly that confidence becomes the natural result. Think about it. The more you know, the less you fear. The more you practice, the less you doubt. The more you plan, the more certain you feel about your ability to succeed. Confidence isn't some magical force that appears when you need it most. It's the result of putting in the work long before the moment arrives. Imagine stepping onto a stage to give a speech. If you haven't practiced, if you don't know your material, if you're unsure about what to say, fear takes over. Your heart races, your palms sweat, and doubt creeps in. Why? Because you didn't prepare. But what happens when you've rehearsed that speech 100 times? When you've studied your topic inside and out? When you've visualized yourself delivering it flawlessly? Suddenly, fear is replaced with confidence. You walk onto that stage not with uncertainty, but with conviction. You know what to say, how to say it, and you trust yourself to do it well. The same principle applies to every area of life. If you want to feel confident walking into a job interview, prepare. Research the company, practice answering questions, and rehearse until you feel comfortable. If you want to feel confident approaching new people, prepare. Develop conversation starters, understand body language, and practice putting yourself in social situations. If you want to feel confident about your financial future, prepare. Learn about money, create a plan, and take consistent action. Confidence isn't built in the moment, it's built in the preparation leading up to the moment. Most people wait for confidence before they take action, but that's backward thinking. Confidence doesn't come first, preparation does. You don't feel ready before you start. You feel ready because you started. The first time you try something, you might not feel confident at all. But if you keep at it, if you keep refining your skills, if you keep preparing, something shifts. What once felt intimidating now feels second nature. What once seemed impossible now feels like a skill you've mastered. There's a reason why champions train relentlessly before competition. There's a reason why the best speakers rehearse endlessly before stepping onto a stage. There's a reason why the most successful people in the world prepare more than anyone else. They don't rely on luck, and they don't wait for confidence to magically appear. They build it. Brick by brick, day by day, they put in the work behind the scenes so that when the moment arrives, they are ready. This is the difference between those who succeed and those who struggle. Those who struggle often believe that confidence is something they need to find. They tell themselves, I'll take action when I feel ready. But the truth is, readiness comes from doing the work. The people who succeed don't wait to feel ready. They prepare so thoroughly that when the opportunity comes, they step forward with certainty. They know they've done the work, they know they've earned the right to be there, and they trust themselves to perform. The beauty of preparation is that it eliminates fear. When you're prepared, you don't have to rely on guesswork. You don't have to hope things go well. You can stand firm, knowing you've done everything possible to set yourself up for success, and that knowledge, that deep, unshakable certainty is what creates real confidence. So if you want to boost your confidence instantly, don't wait for it to appear. Build it through preparation. Do the work. Learn, practice, rehearse, refine. Because when you're prepared, confidence isn't a question. It's a guarantee. Your self-talk shapes your reality. The words you say to yourself, whether out loud or in the quiet of your mind, become the foundation of your confidence or the chains that hold you back. Most people don't realize how much their inner dialogue determines the course of their lives. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough, I always mess things up, or I'll never be as successful as others. And then they wonder why they feel small, why they hesitate, why they shrink back from opportunities. But confidence isn't about waiting for the world to tell you that you're capable. Confidence is about telling yourself over and over again until you believe it so deeply that nothing can shake you. Your mind is always listening. Every time you speak negatively about yourself, your mind registers it as truth. Every time you doubt your abilities, your mind takes notes. And every time you reinforce your limitations, you build a stronger case against yourself. But the opposite is also true. Every time you remind yourself of your strengths, your mind accepts it. Every time you say, I can do this, your brain gets to work proving you right. And every time you declare your ability to succeed, your mind starts aligning your actions with that belief. The key is to take control of the words you use. Most people let their self-talk run on autopilot, filled with years of doubt, fear, and hesitation. But confidence is built by being intentional with what you allow into your mind. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, you will act accordingly. If you tell yourself you're strong, capable, and ready, you will start moving in that direction. The words you speak today shape the reality you experience tomorrow. Think about how you would speak to a close friend who was struggling. Would you tear them down? Would you remind them of every mistake they've ever made? Would you tell them they're destined to fail? Of course not. You would encourage them. You would remind them of their strengths. You would tell them to keep going, to trust themselves, to believe in what they're capable of. Yet most people talk to themselves in ways they would never talk to someone they care about. They are their own worst critics, their own biggest obstacle. But the moment you start speaking to yourself with the same kindness and belief that you would offer a friend, everything changes. One of the fastest ways to shift your confidence is to change your words. Start catching yourself when negative thoughts creep in. When you think, I can't do this, stop and reframe it. I may not have done this before, but I can learn. When you think, I always mess things up, remind yourself, every mistake is a lesson and I'm growing stronger. When you think, I'll never be as good as them, say, I am on my own journey and I am improving every day. These small changes may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they create a new pattern, a new belief system, a new level of confidence. Confidence isn't about pretending you have all the answers. It's about believing that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. And that belief starts with the words you use. The mind will believe what you tell it the most. If you feed it doubt, it will create more doubt. If you feed it strength, it will create more strength. Your self-talk is a choice. And that choice determines whether you walk into the world with hesitation or with the kind of confidence that moves mountains. So take charge of your words, guard them carefully, speak to yourself with power, with certainty, with conviction. Because the words you say to yourself every day are shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Posture and presence influence the mind. The way you carry yourself affects the way you feel. The way you walk, the way you stand, the way you hold your head, it all sends messages to your brain about who you are and how confident you should feel. Most people think confidence is purely a mindset, but it's more than that. It's also physical. Your body and your mind are connected, and one influences the other. When you change your posture, when you adjust your body language, you can instantly shift your state of mind. Think about someone who lacks confidence. You can see it before they even speak. Their shoulders are slumped, their head is down, their movements are small. They take up as little space as possible, as if they are trying to disappear. Their voice is quiet, uncertain. Their energy is low. And because their body communicates weakness, their mind follows. They feel small and they act small. But now think about someone with confidence. They stand tall, their shoulders are back, their movements are purposeful. They walk into a room with a presence that says, I belong here. They make eye contact. Their voice is steady, strong. Their energy is magnetic. And because their body communicates power, their mind follows. The truth is, your body doesn't just reflect your emotions, it creates them. If you want to feel confident, act like it. Even if you don't feel it at first, adjust your posture. Stand up straight. Lift your chin, relax your shoulders, take deeper breaths, move with certainty. When you take up space, when you present yourself with power, your brain gets the message, I am strong. I am capable. I am confident. And that message changes how you think, how you feel, and how you show up in the world. This is why some of the most successful people in the world pay close attention to their body language. They know that confidence isn't just in the mind, it's in the way they present themselves. A firm handshake, a steady gaze, a strong stance, these things matter. They communicate to others, but more importantly, they communicate to yourself. And the moment you change how you carry yourself, you change how you feel. It's not just about standing tall, it's about movement too. How you walk into a room, how you sit at a table, how you use your hands, when you speak, all of it matters. When you move with confidence, when your actions are deliberate, your mind follows suit. The next time you walk into a room, do it with purpose. Take your time, look up, breathe deeply. Own your space. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. And let's talk about eye contact. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to project confidence. When you avoid eye contact, when your gaze is constantly shifting, it sends a message of uncertainty, not just to others, but to yourself. But when you look people in the eye, when you hold your gaze with calm assurance, it changes everything. It tells your brain that you are engaged, that you are sure of yourself, that you are present. And the more you do it, the more confidence you develop. This is a simple adjustment, but it has a profound effect. The body and mind are always working together. If you change one, the other will follow. Most people wait until they feel confident to change their posture, but that's not how it works. You don't wait for the feeling, you create the feeling. And you do it by stepping into that confidence physically before your mind is even caught up. So if you want to boost your confidence instantly, start with your posture, stand tall, move with certainty, make eye contact, breathe deeply. The moment you shift your body, you shift your mind. And when you carry yourself with confidence, you don't just feel different, you become different. Take small wins and stack momentum. Confidence isn't something you wake up with one day, it's something you build. And the fastest way to build it is through small victories. Most people think they need a massive achievement to feel confident. But confidence isn't built in big leaps. It's built in the little moments, the small decisions, the consistent wins that add up over time. When you prove to yourself, even in the smallest ways, that you can take action and follow through, you begin to trust yourself more. And that trust, that belief in your own ability is what creates real confidence. Think about the last time you accomplished something, even something small. Maybe you made a difficult phone call. Maybe you woke up early and stuck to your plan. Maybe you spoke up in a meeting when you usually stay quiet. How did you feel afterward? Even if it wasn't a life-changing event, there was a shift, a sense of pride, a moment where you told yourself, I did it, and that feeling matters. It may not seem like much, but every small win strengthens your belief in yourself. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the idea that you are capable, that you can take action, that you can trust yourself to get things done. The mistake most people make is that they focus too much on the big picture. They set a huge goal, they dream of massive success, but because the goal feels so far away, they hesitate, they overthink, they feel overwhelmed, and instead of taking action, they stay stuck. But confidence doesn't come from thinking about success, it comes from experiencing progress. Even the smallest step forward is proof that you are moving in the right direction, and when you start stacking those small wins, momentum kicks in. Momentum is a powerful thing. It turns hesitation into movement, doubt into belief, fear into action. The hardest part is always the first step, but once you take it, the second step gets easier, and the third step gets even easier. Soon, you're not just moving, you're building speed. And the faster you move, the more confident you become. Because now, you're not just hoping you can do something, you have evidence. You have proof that you can. This is why celebrating small wins is so important. Most people don't do this. They dismiss their progress because they think it's not big enough. They tell themselves it's just a small step, it doesn't really matter. But it does matter. It matters because it's the foundation of confidence. Every time you acknowledge your progress, you reinforce your ability to succeed. You train your mind to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who takes action, someone who is moving forward. And the more you do this, the more natural confidence becomes. This is also why habits are so powerful. When you set small, achievable goals and consistently follow through, you create a pattern of success. If you want to build confidence in your fitness, start with 5 push-ups a day. If you want to build confidence in public speaking, start by speaking up once in a small group. If you want to build confidence in your business, start by making 1 phone call, writing 1 email, taking 1 simple step. These small actions may not seem like much at first, but they add up. They create momentum. And momentum makes everything easier. Confidence isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about proving to yourself day by day that you are capable of taking action. And once you start stacking those wins, once you see the progress you're making, doubt begins to fade. Fear loses its grip. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and you start moving forward, knowing that every small step is a step towards something bigger. So don't wait for confidence to come before you take action. Take action first, no matter how small. Build momentum. Celebrate the little wins. Because once you start stacking them, confidence becomes not just something you have, it becomes who you are. Decide, act, and adjust. Confidence is not about having all the answers before you start. It's about trusting yourself to figure things out along the way. Too many people get stuck waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect conditions before they take action. But perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it only leads to hesitation, doubt, and missed opportunities. The truth is, confidence comes from making a decision, taking action, and adjusting as you go. When you do this consistently, you develop an unshakable belief in yourself, not because you always get it right, but because you know that no matter what happens, you can handle it. Most people hesitate because they fear making the wrong decision. They think if they wait long enough, they'll somehow feel more ready, more certain, more prepared. But the problem with waiting is that it leads to more doubt, not less. The longer you wait, the more you overthink, the more you second guess, and the more you let fear take over. But when you decide to act even before you feel fully ready, something powerful happens. You shift from being passive to being in control. You prove to yourself that you are capable of making decisions and moving forward, even in uncertainty. And that experience builds real confidence. Every confident person you admire has one thing in common: they take action. They don't waste time waiting for the perfect moment because they know that clarity comes from doing, not from thinking. They understand that mistakes and setbacks are not failures. They are part of the process. They trust themselves enough to make a move, learn from the results, and adjust their approach as needed. This is the mindset that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. Confidence grows when you take responsibility for your choices. Instead of fearing the unknown, you embrace it. Instead of waiting for approval, you decide for yourself. Instead of letting fear stop you, you move forward despite it. This doesn't mean every decision you make will be perfect. In fact, some will be wrong. Some will lead to mistakes. But mistakes are not the enemy, and action is. Every mistake you make teaches you something valuable. Every wrong turn gives you new insight. Every adjustment makes you stronger, sharper, more prepared for the next step. The key is to start. Start before you feel ready. Start before you have all the answers. Start before the fear convinces you to stay where you are. Because once you take that first step, the next one becomes easier. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates confidence. The more decisions you make, the more experience you gain, and the more experience you gain, the more you trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. People often admire confidence in others and wonder how they got there, but confidence isn't something you are born with, it's something you build. It's built through experience, through action, through trial and error. It's built by stepping forward even when you're unsure, by trusting yourself to navigate the unknown, by deciding, acting, and adjusting along the way. So don't wait for confidence to show up before you take action. Make the decision, take the step, move forward with what you know now, and trust yourself to figure out the rest as you go. Because real confidence isn't about always being right. It's about knowing that even when you're wrong, you have the ability to learn, adapt, and keep going. And that is the kind of confidence that nothing and no one can take away from you. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you create. It's built in the words you speak to yourself, in the way you carry your body, in the small wins you collect, and in the decisions you make without waiting for perfection. Every step you take, no matter how small, reinforces the belief that you are capable, strong, and ready. The truth is, confidence is not reserved for a select few. It's not a gift given at birth. It's a skill, a habit, a mindset that anyone can develop, and that includes you. The question is not whether you are confident. The question is whether you are willing to step into it. Whether you are willing to change your self-talk, adjust your posture, celebrate your progress, and trust yourself to figure things out along the way. Whether you are willing to act, to grow, to stretch beyond the limits you've placed on yourself, because the moment you decide to step forward, to take ownership of your confidence, everything changes. So don't wait. Don't overthink. Don't hesitate. Start now. Speak to yourself with power. Stand with certainty. Stack your wins. Make a decision and move forward. And remember, confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing that whatever happens, you have the ability to handle it. Once you embrace that, there is nothing you cannot do.